Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Wolters World, and today we're in Kyoto, Japan, answering one of your travel questions. And that travel question is, Mark, is Japan safe to visit? And yes, I can hear the laughter from the people that have actually visited Japan going, is Japan safe? Are you crazy? Yes, Japan is safe. Japan is super safe. It's one of the safest places you can visit in the world. You lose your wallet, they return your wallet with the cash in it and then say, sorry, it took us so long to find your hotel kind of safe. It's so safe that my family and I will walk out late nights, no problem, not having to worry. That's been one of the best parts of visiting Japan is I'm not stressed out worrying that someone's trying to pickpocket me or someone's going to try to rip me off or a taxi's going to try to rip me off or I'm going to go the wrong way or go in the back alley or whatever. You don't worry about that when you come to Japan, which is so awesome because this is one of the most relaxing trips I've had because I'm not concerned about these things. And neither should you, okay? Because Japan is super, super safe. Now, having said that it's super safe, there are still some precautions and some things you should know about when you do come here. I think some of the safety things you might want to know about, a lot of it has to do with actually being a pedestrian and walking around Japan because there's so many people here. And if you're going to be going to a tourist site during peak season, or you're going to be taking, going on a subway or a bus, during rush hour or not even rush hour, sometimes they can be very full, so it can be very claustrophobic, and that can scare a lot of tourists. But the thing is, here in Japan, they're very efficient with what they're doing. So you might think, long line, oh no, what am I going to do? No, it'll efficiently go through. And there's people that help in those very busy intersections and very busy subways, getting people on the train and off the train and stuff like that. So you don't see people get into a fight with all the pushing and shoving, because you don't have the pushing and shoving here, which is super awesome. Now, with the pedestrian stuff, a couple things I want to tell you is if you're walking in the street and there's no sidewalk, you'll see a white line on the side of the street. Walk on the building side of that white line because that's kind of like the pedestrian zone, the pedestrian walkway, crosswalk kind of thing. And you'll see that in a lot of places around the country, so a heads up on that. Probably the biggest thing that might get you as a tourist is they drive on the left side of the road here, okay? So when they drive, it's like in the UK, all right? So if you're thinking, I'm gonna look left and then look right and cross, oh, no, that car's already run you over. You need to look right and then look left. And it's not just the cars that can get you. There's a lot of bikers here too, and so the bikes might fly by, and they don't always obey the street signs and the street lights when you are here. I know, those are like the one, illegal bad doing Japanese people I've seen are the bikers not following the traffic lights. But it is an issue because I have seen some tourists do the jump back and almost get hit, so do be careful with that. Now, one thing that comes up in a lot of the safety issues for Japan with government websites and other travel websites, they talk about earthquakes and tsunamis. And the thing is, yes, Japan does have earthquakes, and yes, there could be tidal waves, tsunamis coming in and stuff like that. Most likely, statistically speaking, as a tourist, you will not deal with those things. However, in terms of earthquakes, you will see there are evacuation plans, meeting points, all kinds of stuff throughout the cities for buildings telling you the exit routes and stuff like that. So, for your peace of mind, maybe you take a look at that and see what your exit route is, just so you know those things. Now, in terms of female travelers, I will warn you, on the packed subways in Tokyo, it's not unheard of for people to grab people's butts and stuff like that. You do need to keep your wits about you. If you see anybody getting too close, there is the closeness that happens during rush hour, but anytime you feel uncomfortable, don't be scared to push them away or something like that, because that is an issue. There's actually words for people that do things like that here in Japan, so do have a heads up for that. Also, if you're traveling in a group, you might see that they'll deal more with a male traveler than the female traveler because it is a much more masculine society here, so they'll tend towards that way. So I'll give you a heads up for that. In terms of safety issues that people sometimes have, they're like, well, what about my credit cards and my cash and stuff like that? Do I need to worry? Look, it's a cash-based society here. You have very little petty crime, very little pickpocketing, next to nothing here. So you don't really have to worry too much about having all your cash together. But, of course, when you are traveling, it's always a good idea to take normal safety precautions whenever you do travel. So keep some cash back at your hotel, have some with you, or have in different parts of your clothing or stuff like that when you go. You don't really have to worry about it here because you look silly doing it. But it is something I always recommend is, hey, just pay attention. Because if you are in Tokyo and it's the busier parts of time and there's lots of tourists going around, you will feel a little uncomfortable and worried about stuff. It might give you that little bit of feeling betterness inside. But honestly, Japan is a super, super safe country. It is so relaxing not having to worry about every single moment of every single day that someone's trying to get you. The cops, if you're lost, they will show you where to go. It's super nice out here to do that. And then you'll see this little cop station with a couple policemen to show your map where you want to go, and they'll point you in the right direction. So that's been very helpful. I will tell you though, if you get scared when people don't speak English, there's not a lot of English spoken here in Japan, so that will be one thing that might worry you. But we don't speak any Japanese, and we've had no problem at all, and we've had all kinds of great times, had great food, met great people, and not had anything to worry about. So I hope this helped you feel a little bit better before you come here to Japan, because you really should. It's a beautiful country with wonderful people, amazing food, though you might not know what you're eating, but that's okay. You might not even know how to eat it, which has been one of my big issues. I'm like, which way does this go? So maybe tummy troubles might be another safety issue for you. Though the food here is super clean, you can drink the water, no problem. But I would bring some like Imodium or Gas-X or anything for tummy issues, especially if you got kids. It'll be really helpful. Anyway, I hope you have a great time here in Japan. If you want to learn more, 5 things you love and hate about visiting Japan, 10 things that'll shock you about Japan. Probably the most important one though is our don'ts of visiting Japan. Check us out on our website at woltersworld.com. We're also on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and we really appreciate your likes and subscriptions, and we hope you have a great time here in Japan, because I know you're going to have a safe time, but I hope you have a great time. Bye from Kyoto.